I want to say that I raised to state that I had an opportunity to participate in a select committee, and also I had an opportunity to watch debate go on the floor of the House. And Mr. Speaker, in my assessment as a legislator who's been in the House for quite a number of years, Mr. Speaker, I go on to say that there's nothing wrong with the names which have been proposed. They are, in fact, very well balanced opinions from the country. But, Mr. Speaker, bearing to the two experiences, I think, Mr. Speaker, it is better to have the plenary deal with this matter, bearing in mind, Mr. Speaker, that we've had the Governor Kawira here 3 times, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I really don't want to take a lot of time here. I think for interest of justice and for fairness and for the country to follow the proceedings clearly and in open manner, so that when a final decision is made, Mr. Speaker, even the person, whether for or against, everyone finds that the Senate have done justice. Mr. Speaker, the Senate stands for devolution. We want the county of Meru to succeed. And Mr. Speaker, I propose that we go the plenary way and say that, Mr. Speaker, we are looking for justice for Meru, so that they could have expediency and that the county of Meru may succeed in its endeavors. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Kinyua.
Asante Bwana Spika. Bwana Spika, mimi naunga mkono seneti yote ijumuishwe katika kuichanganua yale mambo yatakayoletwa katika seneti, Bwana Spika. Kwa sababu, Bwana Spika, ni posa Wakenya waweze kuona mambo yamewekwa pariwanja, yaweze kuangaziwa vizuri kama vile tulivyofanya katika zile zingine, Bwana Spika. Kwa hivyo, Bwana Spika, mimi naunga mkono seneti nzima ijumuishwe, Bwana Spika. Na Bwana Spika, kwa sababu
Order, honorable senators. Proceed, Senator Kinyua.
Okay, asante Bwana Spika. Bwana Spika, kwangu mimi, kwa sababu nimekuwa katika seneti hii, ni vizuri wakati inafanywa katika ikijumuisha maseneta wote, kwa sababu ikipelekwa katika kamati maoni yale watakayoona, Bwana Spika, hailetwi hapa katika bunge. Wale watu watakaokuwa tumechagua, Bwana Spika, na sina shida yoyote na wale maseneta waliochaguliwa, ni watu ambao najua wana ujuzi na uzoefu, wanaweza wakaangazia yale mambo. Lakini ikifanywa katika seneti, maneno yote yawekwe pariwanja, watu waweze kuona, Bwana Spika, itakuwa ni vizuri zaidi. Nashukuru Bwana Spika, na asema asante.
Senator Olekina.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I rise to oppose this motion as presented by the Majority Leader. Mr. Speaker, apart from the mood of the House, there's a lot of sensationalization on this matter of impeachment, with severe allegations being thrown by both parties. And I think if we reduce this to a committee, others might end up arguing that it's a clandestine move to be able to either save or impeach the governor. So in my view, I think it is best if we carry out plenary so that we can sit here. Those who would be patient enough to sit here will listen to the allegations, either being substantiated or not being substantiated. And the entire country and the world will be able to observe. Mr. Speaker, I think it is imperative. And Mr. Speaker, this is a time when we take some matters very seriously. Personally, I have received almost 300 shillings in 1 shilling, 1 shilling, 1 shilling, being greeted by people of Meru. And my job, when I sit here to deal with issues of impeachment, I deal on matters that are brought before myself. It is important for us to realize that the county assembly is the one that impeaches the governor. The Senate sits as a jury. So that misconception out there that the Senate is the one that impeaches the governor should actually be corrected. So, Mr. Speaker, with those few remarks, I oppose the motion and I vote for this motion to go on plenary. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Mungatana.
Mr. Speaker, I rise to support the idea that the plenary should sit on this matter, Mr. Speaker, to decide on behalf of Kenyans. Mr. Speaker, this motion is so crucial. It is so crucial that we cannot afford to let it go to a committee. And Mr. Speaker, I am speaking this because there was a similar motion brought in the National Assembly to impeach a cabinet secretary. And the mood of the House in the National Assembly at that time was that the cabinet secretary must go. Then a select committee was chosen. And Mr. Speaker, they came back and said the minister should stay, against the majority of the people sitting in the House. So, Mr. Speaker, let us not go that way. Let us agree on one issue, that it is too important for us to leave it to a committee. Let us go the plenary way, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I want to emphasize one thing. It is the county assembly that impeaches, and it is the Senate that convicts or acquits. We sit here as a court. In fact, in the US, Mr. Speaker, the Chief Justice, when it is the impeachment of the President, it is the Chief Justice who sits on your place to do the actual trial of the impeachment. And Mr. Speaker, the experience that we take from that side, in fact, Mr. Speaker, we cannot, in fact, if you look, we cannot leave this to a committee. Mr. Speaker, let us not have too much debate. Let us agree the matter is too important for us to leave it to a committee. Mr. Speaker, I support that we should go the plenary way. I thank you.
Senator Sifuna.
Honorable Speaker, I happen to be a member of the SBC, and there's always been debate when we come to this particular juncture on which of the two methods is superior. I think I have held the position that, in my view, the committee way is a far superior way of interrogating these issues than the plenary manner. And I have 4 reasons that I wanted to advance here in support of this thinking. First of all, Mr. Speaker, the Senate is on recess, and I know that people had committed to do other things. It is not fair to drag the entire Senate to sit here just to listen to these allegations. Secondly, Honorable Speaker, many of the people who are shouting plenary here, we have been with them through these processes before. You will be sitting there, and there will be 3 people in this chamber. Many of them do not even sit through those proceedings, as much as they want to make noise this particular moment and say they want plenary. Thirdly, Honorable Speaker, we saw some...
Senator Sifuna, your colleagues certainly cannot be said to be making noise.
You can hear them shouting, Honorable Speaker. What do you mean?
I am referring to their contribution. It cannot be termed as noise.
Let me proceed, Honorable Speaker. I want to address the question of interrogation and the cross-examination of witnesses. This frustration is a frustration that members shared last time when we went the plenary way. And because I have experienced both of those methods, it is my humble view that it is easier, it is better, there is greater opportunity to cross-examine witnesses and to ask questions, supplementary questions, when you go the committee way. Lastly, there was a question that was raised here, Honorable Speaker, on the involvement of our nominated colleagues in decision-making when it comes to this particular issue. And in my view, it is something that you can also give your view. The nominated senators get a greater opportunity to make decision or participate in the decision-making when they are members of a committee as opposed to plenary. Because at plenary, they all know only the elected senators will get to vote. Finally, Honorable Speaker, when I look at the colleagues who have been nominated to this particular committee, the Honorable Sigei, who is the chair of the Legal Affairs Committee, my chair of Energy, Honorable Matinga, Abdul Haji, who is a member of the Speaker's panel, and Wafula, our colleague, Gloria Uroba, and of course the senators from our side, Honorable Shakila, Honorable Montet, Eddie, Issa, and Honorable Senator Beatrice Ogola. I have all the faith, Honorable Speaker, that this team of 11 can be able to execute this particular assignment on behalf of the House. I want to lastly join my colleague Senator Olekina in saying there is no other influence other than the evidence and the allegations that is going to bear on the decision of this House when we sit to determine this matter. So people should stop sending us messages. Honorable Speaker, I don't understand. Why people are sending us messages from Meru, from all sides, telling us, oh, this is so and so, this is so and
Senator Mundigi.